Hello there, I'm Baldwin Trott, and I am one of the authors of the book For Now. So this is a book just released, Remote Working, a compilation of 25 authors who are writing what they believe will be hopefully the help that people need for coping, managing with what everyone is doing right now, which is remote working and working from home. So I'm Baldwin Trott, I'm one of those authors. I write about the family because I have two children at home and they keep me very busy, and I've been working at home for 9 years by myself. So it's been a journey. So that's what my chapter is. But today I'm going to focus on 3 of the other authors in this book, and I'm thrilled to have Susan Papula, Ian Hale and Kim Platts on our video today. So let's jump into it straight away. And Susan, can I start with you, please? What drew you to the book? Oh, sorry, just intro. You're a human value optimization expert, and your programs are very much focused on values. And you're in Milton Keynes today. Hi, Susan.
Hi.
So fantastic. Can you tell me what drew you to the book? What happened for you?
I think it was a reflection of the reality that we're all faced with, and for a number of people it's very sudden. Recognizing that I have worked from home for a significant part of my career, and that I might have a few things to share with people that might help them make that transition.
Fantastic. Yeah, it is a big transition, isn't it?
Yeah.
And if you've never ever done it before, then it must be phenomenally challenging. Wonderful. And what is your experience of remote working?
Well, should I say I work in the people space with organizations, human resources, talent management, workforce planning, all those things about getting out, should I say, about engagement, productivity with people. And that means that for a long time, I've worked with different organizations, projects, programs, transformation, really. And to do that effectively, I've had to work from home, go into an organization, work from home. So I've been doing that for a long time. So my work base has almost always been home, going into organizations and for meetings as required.
Yeah, fantastic. Fantastic. Thank you. And can you give the viewers your top tip, please?
So key for me is for organizations and individuals alike to look at this as a transformation program for themselves or their organizations, and look at how they can, should I say, adapt to this situation, being as productive as possible.
Yeah, I know we did speak in length before we started recording, but you mentioned that actually it's an opportunity for real change and to change the way we all work, the infrastructure, and I love that idea. Do you want to say a little bit more about that? Because that was so inspiring.
Yeah, well, because I guess the key is there's what we do, and there's a reason why we do it from a work perspective at an individual level or an organization level. And in this transfer, we don't want to lose that. The key is to maintain that, but to review how we do it so we can still do it effectively, working from a home environment. And in doing so, remain productive, because it's easy to say working from home, but what does that mean in practical terms? So there's a big communication piece about that, that sitting down to discuss how can we continue doing what we do, whether it's the products or the services that we require, are they still relevant? How can we change things to still be able to produce something which is of value to people and the wider world around us?
Yeah, no, right, and it's value that keeps popping up in most of the interviews. Like, what is your value? What is your purpose? And it's reconfiguring, re-identifying it almost, isn't it?
Yeah, because that's why I talk about human value optimization, the recognition that everyone has value. We don't always realize it, and that's where coaching and support and self-reflection and all those things come to play, to enable people to recognize what they have to, who they are, and what they have to offer. And it's the same in terms of an organization as well. Businesses, they also have value, and it all goes back to value. We all have value. Organizations have value. We're all valuable, and it's the recognition of that is critical.
And I should imagine that for teams especially, those values and the balance which Ian mentioned earlier is, I think, was probably coming up quite prevalent, because there'll be some managers managing their teams that are at home, and they'll probably start to see a slightly different side to their staff.
Yes.
You know, the ones that are really making sure they're ready for the call, the ones that may be a bit late on the regular basis, because everyone's late sometimes.
And
You know, that type of thing. Yeah, I bet that's really happening.
Yeah. And the communication styles linked to people's personalities come to play as well. Because one of the things that I find interesting is I was on a call myself, and someone was saying, oh, people that live alone, oh, it must be very lonely for them at this point in time, and they must be struggling. That might be the case with some, but with someone like myself who does live alone but is actually quite introverted, I'm perfectly fine. I can jump on calls and communicate with people and pick up a phone, call a friend. But outside of that, I can just get on and do me and be me. And so there is that key part as well with teams of understanding people and how they relate to other people and what works best for everyone to bring a team together effectively.
Yeah, fantastic. And that's really interesting to hear. I've got a few friends who are introverts. They are in heaven. They have got a graduate door. They, you know, they're literally in heaven. That is the best thing that's happened to them, almost. I don't mean that literally, but
Yeah.
you know, so and actually there isn't any norm. There's no such thing as norm right now. So and that's really important for people to recognize that. You know, I must admit, I'm having a great time. I'm loving it. I'm loving the focus of, you know, it's just me and the kids, they bobble along, and I'm just doing my thing, being creative, more creative than ever. Right. Thank you so much, Susan. That was really interesting. Let's go to Kim next, fellow red wearer. I've got red on today, you know, nice on brand. We were talking about colour before, and red is the colour of decision making, leadership, and also it's the colour, the base chakra. So very powerful, connecting us, bringing us down. Right, Kim, do you want to start with what drew you to the book?
Of course. So I think for me, it was the opportunity to try and give something back. I think in moments like this, when, you know, we're dealing with unknown situations, and my phone was ringing off the hook with people that are really feeling that anxiety and that concern about how do they cope in the new situation. So I really wanted to be able to find a way to help more people. And then when this idea came up, it was like, wow, this is a different way of focusing. And I think, you know, we have, I guess for me, whenever times are tough, I try and focus on something I can control. So I can't control what's going on out there, but I can control myself and how I show up in the world. So this allowed me to have real focus for a period and feel like you were adding some value.
Absolutely. Yeah, no, that's completely right. And you are an executive coach, and I loved your analogy. You're encouraging virtual water cooler mentality for leaders right now. So getting people to create those opportunities to bring people together to really just chat around the water cooler, be honest, be frank, you know, spill the beans, just, you know, rather than hold on to all these difficulties that people may be struggling with right now.
Yeah, absolutely. So I suppose, I mean, I've been working remotely either for big corporations or since running my own business, probably for about 18 years on and off. And one of the big challenges was managing a remote team. And for a lot of people, they're now facing that. So they've very quickly gone from managing people in an office to managing people like we are today in locations all over the place. And one of the things that we can forget is how to stay connected on the human side. So if we're not careful, you just talk to people about the tasks and the job, but you stop talking to them about them and how they are. And even the silly things if you're in the office, like, what did you watch last night? Or I like your dress. It doesn't really matter, but keeping that kind of human connection is so important around people's mental well-being. And I think for me, that's kind of one of the things I learned that I missed so much when I first became a home worker, was I missed that camaraderie. So finding ways to maintain that is really important for people.
Yeah, no, absolutely. Fantastic. Thank you, Kim. And then finally over to, down to Devon.
Yeah,
Beautiful, beautiful Devon. You're in Totnes, aren't you? I have Totnes envy. It's so beautiful there.
yeah, lovely.
Ian, can you give us your responses? Thank you.
Yeah, well, why I wanted to contribute to the book is it fits very much in. We've all talked about values and purpose. It very much fits in with, first of all, me wanting to bring a sense of joy and fun to everything. That's what I love to do in life. But actually, the concern I began to hear from other people who I was speaking to, my clients in particular, was that real anxiety around managing their team, keeping their teams together, who some of them had already worked remotely, but now they were going to be remote from their teams. So the ability to be able to support people. My work is all about support and what I can do to contribute to others. What particularly drew me to Andrew is that he wanted, he brought us together in such a small time, as you know, in that week. But I had complete faith that he'd be able to pull us together. And there was something about the urgency, which was responding to the climate, that I really enjoyed. And so knowing that was going to happen, I didn't know that we would get it out. We did it by, well, we started the previous Friday, I think, when he first mooted it. So something about providing something right now, and that's what we've called it, you know, for the times we're in. Yeah.
And I guess as a coach, which you are, that's very much about what you do, isn't it? Because things do suddenly flip on their head. And one minute, you know, a client probably comes to you and says, well, gosh, this has happened. How the hell do we manage this?
Yes, and one of the things I talk about in the book, and one of the things I do with every client, is I always ask them what they're grateful for. And as crazy as that sounds, like, well, hang on, I just told you, blah, 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 whatever's going on. And then there I am saying, well, what are you grateful for? The best example is my pal Ed, who managed a bank in Egypt. And when the Arab Spring was on, the rioting was going on like 500 yards down the road from his office, and there was gunshot. There was I talking to him about integrity and having gratitude. And he said it did. He still talks about it having stopped him in his tracks and had him think for a moment and collect himself. And it's all about being able to collect ourselves. I'm an extrovert. It drives me partly mad, but I'm living in the house of my wife, my children, my grandchildren as well right now through this period, which is joyful. And even I need my moments of reflection and quiet moments too. So helping people balance that. And famously, my work-life balance shows up on psychometrics. I have 100% work-life balance, they say, and it's enviable at one level. But I've never worked so hard in these last 2 weeks. So if that's happening to me, as I'm adjusting to being here all the time, I'm sure it's happening to other people as well.
Yeah, very much so. I think that's something I definitely cover in my chapter, is boundaries.
Mm-hmm.
And setting the finish time of your day. And yes, there's a settling in period. So the last few days of the book launch, I've definitely been working late into the evening. But I've set myself, right, by Thursday, I'm back to 5 p.m. Done. You know, everything switches off, and I go and spend time with my kids and do other things, and time for me. Boundaries are so important, because this is so easy. Mm-hmm. You know, we could be doing this all day and just, you know, it's fantastic and it's interactive, and but it's really important to do that, to remind yourself this is work. It has to stop, and then the rest of my life 3 foot away can continue. Yeah, fantastic. Thank you so much, everyone. This is my second lot of interviewing authors for the book, and every time I do, it just blows me away, and of what we're offering, hopefully, which will help everyone. So thank you, guys. I'm sure we will see each other again soon, and I hope to the viewers you really enjoyed that, and you got some snippets of what the book is all about. It's available on Amazon now. It's coming out in paperback on Thursday, if you are watching this within the next couple of days.
Hold it up again, though.
This is what it's called. It's called Remote Working. Yeah. Oh, sorry, Badge of Honor. How many years have you guys been doing this? Susan?
Possibly about 20 years now. I might not look old enough, but yeah.
You definitely don't. And there's something else. Okay, and Ian?
Oh, I've been doing it as a hybrid. So, because half my life is spent traveling and the other half working directly from home. So nigh on 15 years, I would say, where I've spent time coaching from home more often. Yeah.
Okay. Kim?
I think I first did my remote working probably about 21 years ago.
Are you going with the 21?
Yeah, just working out the year it was for RBS, and yeah, it was 21 years ago. That shows my age, doesn't it?
Sorry, Susan. Sorry, Susan. And Kalpesh will be devastated because Kim, you are at the moment, badge of honour, the longest remote working in the book. There you go. Congratulations. But hey, I've got another 8 authors to go, so we'll see. Okay, take care, everyone. Have a good day, and thanks for tuning in. Bye.
Bye.
Bye.